Okay guys, so I finally managed to get my hands on some of this Reignition line that's come out by Playmates this year. And I had to make a decision. I found 4 of the Rangers. Here in the UK they're priced at £10 each. And there should be some images of them on screen at the moment. You know, I saw them. They look good enough. But I'm not a massive fan of the designs. They're very bulky in the chest. However, as you can see, I got Rita. Because most of my collection is the original releases. I haven't really gone for any of the collector's stuff. Obviously, except for the absolutely giant Daijujin or Megazord from Mighty Morphin Season 1. And there's a reason for that. You know, I only really got back into all this about 7 or 8 years ago, and I started off by getting the stuff that came out when I was a kid that I didn't get to have then. Like the Megazord, the Thunder Megazord, the Ninja and Shogun Megazords. And I was happy with them. And then I was able to get the Legacy Morpher as well, which I was really happy with. But I kind of missed out on the whole collector side of things with the Lightning and Legacy collections. And I have to admit, there are quite a few bits I'd like the Legacy Blade Blaster, or even the Dragon Dagger. And even my cat agrees with me, as you can hear. However, one thing that obviously I don't think ever actually came out back then, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but we never got a Rita. So yeah, seeing this one in the shops, I had to go for it. And of course, just in case I ever decide to pose them, I had to get a Putty Patroller as well. Which, again, I know they came out with, it was either the Lightning or Legacy collections, but I never got those. And of course now, trying to find anything at a decent price is very difficult. And trying to record one of these videos without a cat going for me, because she wants some attention, is just as difficult. I currently have her purring at my feet. But obviously, the Reignitions here, they do look really nice. And like I said, I wanted to get a Gold Eye as well, but they didn't have one in the shop I was in. They also didn't have a Pink Ranger. They had Zack, Billy, Jason and Trini, but they didn't have Kimberly, sadly. Obviously, each of the Rangers have the Automorph in action, and these have Bandora with a rather questionable hand motion, controlled by a little button just on the back. And the Putty has a head spinning action. It's a little stiff in the, I think it's just stiff in the box, but there you see, you can make his head spin and shoot up. And he also has extra hands, which is nice. And of course, Bandora herself has her wands and a magic effect. And I've gotten from my collection one of the original 93 flip heads, complete with very loose knees. And you will see that he is actually a similar size. Obviously, these two are raised up slightly. So once I get these out of the box, I think it will actually be a good size. So I'm going to open up and have a look at these two. Okay, and having removed them from their packaging, I gotta say, I really like these two. The detail is absolutely brilliant. You've really got to appreciate that. Obviously, which Bandora or Rita has got a magic effect blast that I dropped. and an absolutely really nicely detailed wand that fits in her hand, and she can wave it around using her action feature, spellcasting action. Obviously, if I give her an upskirt here, she has some legs that will move around, but obviously only within the confines of the skirt, so it does help with standing her up. The putty, oh, he still moves up and down. There is a good range of movement in all of these joints, so you can actually get the putties in that classic sort of legs akimbo, classic ready to fight the Rangers pose, and then you can bring in your Rangers, morph Tommy there, and as you can see, if I put him in between them, there is a good size comparison between them. If I straighten the putty up, just have the putty stood there at attention like he's just been made by Finster. He's almost... Straighten your leg out, mate. So obviously you can see he's even designed to be stood with legs akimbo. Come on, stand up, buddy. Okay, so he really doesn't want to stand. There we go. So size-wise, really does work well with the original Automorphs. And like I say, the new ones, the chests are so big, I really don't want it. But I would much rather have like the original design, even if I've got to wait years to find the missing pieces and all the rest of it. And it's going to cost me an arm and a leg, I know, because resale just goes through the roof. But on the plus side, I can now have a Witch Bandora to go with my Durangers, because obviously I'm more Sentai fan than Power Rangers myself. Although, you know, got to give it up for Power Rangers. That's what got me into the whole thing when I was a kid anyway. I just noticed his hands on backwards. So I just want to take a moment to go on about the putty's extra features. So you can, just by pulling, I'll give it a little twist as well, and you have these little bits underneath his gloves. So you have a choice of hands, which obviously he comes attached with, but obviously because the putties did have extra features in the show, you can bring him in with his stone blade or his boulder hand. So there is the option for posing them as you like, and if you do decide to get a whole bunch of them, you can have one with hands, one with a boulder, one with a blade, and even mix and match and all the rest of it. And I'm sure if you've got a ranger in the middle of giving an uppercut, you could take down the thing and have the putty's head knocked off. But yeah, I really do like these. I mean, the poseability, the potential for different scenes and stuff. The poseability of the original Morphers, Automorphin figures, isn't that great. I kind of wanted to pose this with him kneeling down, but unfortunately, and he's, oh god, everyone's going down now. But unless I do him like that, he can't kneel down to his evil mistress. Unfortunately, they just don't have that poseability in the old 90s figures. But for a display with all of them together, she is the right size, as is the Putty Patroller. So if you do have the originals and you do want to add a little bit more to it, I'd say these Reignitions are well worth it. Like I say, I'm not a fan of the Rangers themselves. Obviously I haven't seen Kimberly in the flesh, so to speak, but while Trini I think is probably the smallest, I think that's because I don't think the heads just keep rotating like they do with the boys. I can't tell because there is no Try Me feature with Trini's Yellow Ranger. The boys, on the other hand, you keep pushing down on the back and they just keep spinning from helmet to human to helmet to human, so... But they're just so big and bulky that, to me, it doesn't look right. But when you consider, I mean, yes, this is collectible now, but that came out as a kid's toy. You know, these automorphins that came out back in the 90s, they weren't out as collectibles. They were kids' toys. And as kids, we absolutely loved them. Which is why most of them probably got destroyed. But we loved them then. And if kids love them now, then they will like the new ones. And yeah, I'm sure they will become the next wave of collectibles later on down the line. But for now, let's just be glad there's like more Power Rangers stuff. Because you never know, we may next get another Legacy line or another Lightning collection. We don't know what's coming. But hopefully, if it's anything like these two, it's going to be something good.